Hello everyone, welcome back to C Puzzles. We're going to continue on with operators 4.4 in the bitwise operators section. Here once again we have the main snippet of code here. We have added operators 4.4 as highlighted here in teal. It's a call to the print macro, passing the expression x, ampersand y, ampersand z, close parentheses, semicolon. Feel free to pause the video and go ahead and try to solve this on your own before we actually jump to the solution. Going into operators 4.4 here, again we have the setup. We have three integer variables, x, y, and z, which have been initialized to 3, 2, and 1 respectively. These have not changed from the previous puzzle, therefore they remain intact as their same values. The line of code here we're trying to evaluate is the call to the print macro with the expression x, ampersand y, ampersand z. Both the ampersand and the double ampersand have their both respective names and operations. The single ampersand is known as the bitwise AND, which we've seen in previous videos. And the double ampersand is the bit logical AND, and once again we've seen this in the logical operator section. So once again we have this expression here. Which of these two ANDs or ampersands, whether it's a single one or double one, do we evaluate first? Well, let's go ahead and look at our operator, precedence, and associativity table. We can see here, starting from the very top, going down, we have the bitwise AND, which is hit first, and then 3 rows down we hit the logical AND, both of which have their associativities from left to right. Therefore, we're going to go ahead and evaluate the bitwise AND, followed by the logical AND in the expression. We can see here we're going to go ahead and close the bitwise AND of x and y in parentheses here. And that result of that bitwise AND would be the left-hand side to the logical AND, with z being the right-hand side. And ultimately the puzzle just comes down to a logical AND between the bitwise ANDing of x and y and the logical of whatever the value is of z. Performing the bitwise AND of x and y, recall that x has a value of 3, and 3 represented in binary is right here as defined in this byte. I have once again shorted it only to show the first 7 bits. The value of y is a value of 2, and here 2 is the representative binary expression, and once again only the first 8 bits. Now performing the bitwise AND, we have 1 ANDed with 0 is 0, 1 ANDed with 1 is 1, and then the remaining zeros are ANDed with zeros, which again give us zeros. Therefore the result of this bitwise AND is a value of true. Now going back to our expression here, once again the result of the bitwise AND was true, or 2. Putting in 2 or replacing x and y, or x ampersand y here with 2. Recall that anything that is not 0 in C logic is considered true. Therefore, a number of 2 is true. Now we have the logical operation of 2 ANDed with z. Once again, replacing z with the value of 1. We have 2 ANDed with 1, and 1 is true. Therefore, the operation of 2 ANDed with 1 is the same thing as true ANDed with true, and we know that's 1. Therefore, we're going to call the print macro with 1, or passing in the value of 1, or 1 is the result here. Going back to when we called the print macro and passing in the expression here, passing in that expression and performing the stringization operation, replacing the result with the %d specifier, with in this case it's the value of 1, we should see something about the expression being printed onto the console x ampersand y ampersand z equals 1. Let's go ahead and jump to the code to ensure that we actually get this output. Alright, so here we have VS Code again open with the C file. We went ahead and added the next line here, line 13, operators 4.4, same expression here, x bitwise AND y bit logical AND z. Let's go ahead and try to compile this and see what the output is. So once again, going into our compilation here, once again we're passing in GCC using as a compiler, running this from previous examples. and then running the executable here, we can see that the last statement here is in fact the statement that we passed into the print macro, x ampersand y ampersand ampersand z, and we can see the result is a value of 1, as we have expected in the slides. Alright, thank you again for watching. To watch the previous video, go ahead and click on the bottom left hand corner. And to watch any of the previous puzzle videos that I have done, go ahead and click in the middle, as it will take you to a playlist of all the previous videos and C puzzles that we have gone through. And if you want to watch more C puzzles or more C content in the future, go ahead and click that subscribe button in the bottom right hand corner. And I will see you all in the next video.